the pace of change is unbelievable. We can help our resellers help their end users with those migrations from platform to platform. We have the knowledge of the platforms, whether it's Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, just to name but three. And we really understand how to work with partners and their end users to migrate from one to another.
Hello, I'm James Goulding, editor of Technology Reseller Magazine, and I'm here today with Joe Chimoindes.
James, great to see you again, and thanks very much for the opportunity to talk today.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Perhaps we should start with 2025. It's been an interesting year. What are your impressions of the market?
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag, the market this year. Very simply, I think we can put it into two different buckets. We can put it that the IT spend is going into the must-haves and the nice-to-haves. And, of course, the money is really going into the must-have spends at an end-user level, which has an effect then on the rest of the channel. And I think if we look at what is that must-have spend, where we're seeing the money go right now, of course, is into things like laptops around Windows 11 refresh. That's really important. Also into security, which obviously will always remain a growth market as well. But of course, we can't get this far into a conversation without mentioning AI, and that there's lots of obviously investment in components and storage and servers around the AI area as well. So I think that's really where the money is going on must-haves, and of course that then filters through to the channel to where the growth is being seen. The nice-to-haves clearly, I think, is taking some suffering from that. As the pot of money to be spent at an end-user level is only so big, right? So therefore, some of the nice-to-haves are suffering.
You've invested a lot in AI in your own internal processes. Are there things your partners can be doing on the AI side?
Yes, I think, it's a big subject. I'm very fortunate that once a quarter I host a round table with half a dozen MDs or chief execs of some really good resellers and consultancy businesses. And we use it as an opportunity to talk about what's happening in AI, how it affects our own business, but of course where the opportunities sit. The first thing I can tell you, and I'm stating the obvious, is that the pace of change is unbelievable. So what we talk about from one quarter to the next quarter is already out of date. So the pace of change is just huge. The second thing is that undoubtedly we're all looking about how do you embrace AI in your own environment, in your own company, to help better what we do. I often say that what we've done, and we got it wrong at the beginning, by the way, we went out and tried to do great big projects. We wanted to try and solve all of our problems with AI, but actually that was the wrong approach. The approach we've taken now is I liken it to lots of little AI fires going off across the organisation. So whether that's our HR department putting all their policies into AI, whether it's our marketing department improving their efficiency of how they work with vendor finances, or even our pre-sales team, where our pre-sales team created what we call niche AI. And that AI chatbot is designed to answer questions from our internal sales and external sales teams on products. And that's working really well. So none of these things are particularly, massively exciting or revolutionary, but what they're doing is giving us real productivity gains internally inside the business. The biggest thing for us, though, James, on AI is the culture. The technology is there and it continues to evolve at a pace, as I've already said. But making sure we've got a culture inside our business that looks to think about how can we adopt AI inside the organisation, I think is really important. I'm fortunate to work with a partner of one of those round tables who's only a couple of years old, but inside his business, he's built a business built on AI. And so his organisation, which is 15 people, is basically doing the output of about a 30 to 40 person business because of how they've got it in their core.
Because I suppose on the product side, obviously the platforms that you work with have a lot of AI built in and are sort of pioneering AI.
Of course.
The sort of mass use of transcription and things like that.
Yeah, let's talk about Zoom in that space, but obviously it's clearly Microsoft are dominant with Copilot as well, but with Zoom, with their AI companion technology, it's just phenomenal how it's built into the platform. And, we as end users, first of all, use the Zoom platform and certainly the AI. So not only are our meetings transcribed They're then put into documents. The task list is then sent out automatically. We're building business plans in Whiteboard using Zoom Whiteboard functionality, and then turning that into business plans with AI. We're soon rolling out Zoom CCAS solution for our teams internally, and that will give our customers a fantastic experience when they speak to us, because we'll have AI sentiment linked into our CRM database, giving our salespeople the real great experience. That's just us as an end user, by the way. So if you then talk about, well, then how do we then help our partners with that? Whichever phrase you use, eat your own dog food, drink your own champagne, that's what we're doing. And we believe that we can then take those skills and that knowledge to our partner base to help them in their own businesses and with their customers' businesses.
Yeah. So there is an opportunity there to drive some sort of upgrade of the installed base.
Oh, absolutely, right. And I think the ability to go out and work with partners on how do we do that. I mean, let's just take a look at the UK market. In the UK market today, the move from on-prem to off-premise is around about 58 to 59%, according to Cavell right now, of cloud communications. So that means it's quite a mature market. Yes, there's still some to go, but it's still quite a mature market. This now means that what people are doing is starting, as they're in their refresh and renewal cycle, to look about how they move from platform to platform, because their original decision may not have been the right one for them. They may be requiring new opportunities as well. We can help our resellers help their end users with those migrations from platform to platform. We have the knowledge of the platforms, whether it's Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, just to name but three. And we really understand how to work with partners and their end users to migrate from one to another. We have a well-documented PR this year if we hit 250,000 migrations, and that's doing exactly that. It's moving partners either from an on-prem to an off-prem, from an on-prem to an off-prem, and also between platforms as well.
Because you have quite a lot of sort of partner events, don't you? And what sort of feedback are you getting from your partners on the sort of challenges they face?
Yeah, good question. The events we run are round tables, so we find that having small groups prompts better discussions and better debates. I think one of them I've already highlighted, which is the fact that the subject of AI is moving so fast. When do you get involved? How do you get involved? Both in your own business, but also at a customer level as well. I think opportunities as well. I often say that the end user cries for a more simple experience, but actually the technology to deliver that in the background is quite complex. So for our partners, it means that you've got to have a wide variation of skills to be able to deliver this. Again, let's just talk about cloud communications. If I look at myself as an end user, I want my telephony system integrated with my CRM system, integrated with my ERP, and then I want some AI on the back of that to be able to give a great experience for our salespeople to our customers. That's quite a complex thing to be able to deliver. And this is what our partners are telling us, which is how can they partner, how can they outsource things to us to help them, and what recommendations do we have as well.
Are you under pressure from them to expand your product portfolio? And I'm assuming if you do that, there's a risk that you won't be a specialist in that sort of cloud communications area.
Well, I think we do need to expand our portfolio. I think that's important to make sure that we will always stay true to cloud communications. That's what we do. But it's quite a wide subject, that as well. So, we see that could also mean around AI and data processing and data organization. That's something for the future. It can also mean around compliance. It can mean around, obviously, clearly around things like intelligent call recording. So the subject of cloud communication is actually quite a wide one. To answer your question about vendor expansion, yes, we will selectively be adding vendors into our portfolio that we think we can bring real value to our customer base with as well. But we're never going to be the distributor that has 150 vendors. That's not what we're about. We're about working with some really specialist vendors on that cloud communication solution that we can then take to market for them.
And so what are your priorities for next year, in the next 12 months?
Yes. So my priorities are to make sure that we are continue to invest in our software and our services business. That's really important to us. We are. What I'm really keen to do is make sure that we're reducing friction inside our business, especially around things like ordering. So our API integrations into our vendors is something we're pushing hard right now. So that's really key. I want to put more people out there to serve our customers rather than processing pieces of paper. So those API integrations and making that frictionless ordering is really important. So digital enablement and reducing friction is one priority for us. We'll continue to expand out our services capability. That's really important. You'll see us launched a few new services around cloud communications and what we can do to help our partners in those areas, especially in the areas of AI as well. And as I mentioned previously, you will see us selectively add a few new vendors into the portfolio as well.
That's very interesting. From a UK perspective, what are your sort of priorities for in Europe?
Yeah, good question. In the cloud communications market, I would say that one size does not fit all, right? When you look at the businesses where we work in Europe, France, Germany, and across Benelux, those countries are at different stages of maturity for migration to cloud. So the Netherlands actually is quite similar to the UK. It's about 58% maturity rate there. But actually in France and in Germany, we see a huge opportunity because the penetration of moving from an on-prem to an off-prem is roughly only about 20 to 22% in France and Germany right now. So our priorities really are to capitalize on that opportunity, to work with our partners, maybe some new partners in those countries as well, to really capitalize on those opportunities. And whether that's around helping people to migrate to Microsoft Teams or to Zoom or Cisco WebEx, and then the products and the services that go around that, that's going to be a real priority for us for the next 12 months.
Because you're actually quite sort of well integrated with the European operations, aren't you? On the services side, that's done on a pan-European basis?
Yes, yeah. Beginning of last year, we aggregated our services team to one services team across the whole of Europe. So that means that we can, and we do regularly, fulfill projects in multiple countries throughout Europe for migration and managed services as well.
And presumably it gives you more scale?
Absolutely. I mean, it means that we've got people speaking local languages, which of course is important, and that works really well for us. We have people also actually based in the US, based in Australia, based in India, and that gives us a 24/7 coverage capability for managed services as well. And again, I'll just remind that all of our services that we sell are always through the channel. So our managed services capability is there to enhance the capability of our partners' bases as well.
Will you be looking to add more partners?
Well, so we serve roughly today across Europe for software and services. We serve roughly about 500 to 600. Of course, we'll add breadth into our base. You naturally do as a distributor, but we have enough partners there. We just want to be able to do more and more business with them.
It's great to catch up,
and you
Joel,
too.
And I look forward to the next 12 months and see how that develops.
Great. Thanks, James, for the opportunity. Thank you.